Hello everybody, and welcome to part 3 of my entire DVD and Blu-ray collection. My collection's in a little bit of disarray right now. You can see all those empty spots and everything. That's because I just got back from a trip. I went down to Mississippi to visit some family and help them move and everything. So I took some stuff with me. That's why I've got open spaces. But for this part, everything I want to show off in this part is in its right place. So, we are good in that regard. I'll have to fix everything else so we can finish. We're actually really close to the end now, because we got this row is Blu-Rays, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. And then the bottom row is all my movies that are in DVD format. So, today we are going to go through the entire row here, which is not quite all of my Blu-rays, but pretty much all of them. They're the ones that are all movies, and they're the ones that don't fit in with like a DVD collection. Like, for example, I have the last American Pie film here on Blu-ray, but I have it with my DVDs because all my other American Pie movies are DVDs. Same thing with The Hangover right here. And then there's a couple Christmas movies that are not Blu-ray, or that are not DVD, they're Blu-rays. Sorry about that. I did just wake up recently, so my voice might not be the greatest. So let's just start out looking at these box sets. These are not Blu-rays, but here we have the Indiana Jones Complete Adventure Collection on DVD. Comes with the 4 movies there. It's a really nice box set. Oh, I like having box sets kind of as features on my shelves, you know, like I have the Shrek box set right here. So I like just putting these up in the corner of the shelves. It kind of just makes it look nicer. So yeah, I have not watched the first 3 Indiana Jones films. I know people would give me flack for that, but Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is the only one I've watched, and I liked it. So yeah, you can give me all the hate in the comments. Up here we have one that I just bought recently, the Alien Anthology box set on Blu-ray. Really nice, shiny cover. And I'm thinking about making a video just for this, just kind of showing you what's inside, because I don't have time to do that right now. And I have watched the beginning of the first Alien movie, but I just didn't have time to finish it. I hope to finish it very soon. I'm actually thinking about going to see Alien Covenant. We'll see if that happens. See if I have time this weekend, maybe, or some other time to get that done. And then we have this other box set, which is my Matrix collection box set. This is the DVD set. Comes with, I think, 8 discs. They're all in these cases like this, and there's a booklet in there. I also have thought about doing a video for this. Actually, 10 discs in this set. Also thought about doing a video, like I said, just an individual video showing you what comes inside this box set, because it is a really cool set as well. I'm just going to set that over there, so that way we can get to all of our Blu-rays. Okay, so I have them divided up into genres. So, we start out with comedy. First comedy I have is A Million Ways to Die in the West. Really good movie. Well, I wouldn't say really good. A decent movie by Seth MacFarlane, who created Family Guy. I love everything he's done. That's definitely his worst movie. He's done 3 movies. That's definitely the worst. It's really long for a comedy movie as well, which I thought was surprising. But anyway, decent movie. Glad to have it in the collection. This is the only steelbook I have in the collection. The Blues Brothers. Here. Really classic comedy movie. Absolutely love it. They're on a mission from God. Yes, they are. I absolutely love this movie. I love blues, too. And I love Chicago, and this movie's set in the city of Chicago for the most part. Really good comedy film, absolute classic. And then we have The Campaign, which is a Will Ferrell flick. Funny. I like this film a lot. I know a lot of people don't. It's definitely not his best, but it's a good movie. I'd check it out. I really like politics as well. I'm huge into politics. I think it's very important, and a really funny political comedy, which there really aren't that many of. Then we have The Change Up, which is a movie I have not seen in a long time. Haven't watched it since I bought it, I don't think, but I really like Jason Bateman. He's a really good actor. And this is just kind of a fun popcorn movie, you know, nothing too special about it. We have a movie I still haven't watched yet, Dark Shadows. Johnny Depp basically wearing another extreme form of makeup. He wears makeup in 90% of his movies. It's crazy what he dresses up as. But it looks really creepy, looks really fun, and I'm pretty sure this is a comedy. I did some research on it, and I think this is mostly supposed to be funny, so it does even say they're wickedly funny, so I put it in with the comedies. Still want to check that out soon, hopefully. I've heard it's not the greatest, but it's a good movie. Then we have one I'm very excited about. We have Ordinary World, starring Billie Joe Armstrong of Green Day. Green Day is my absolute favorite band. I'm obsessed with everything they do. So, of course, I had to pick this movie up. Yeah, I've seen this movie. I watched it pretty quick after I picked it up. It's not the greatest, but it is entertaining. It's not too long, so it's kind of just a fun movie. Nothing special about it necessarily, but of course, really good music in this movie. Because Billy wrote a lot of the music. Really good stuff. Sorry about the extreme shakiness of the camera here. I'm trying to do this free-handed, of course, so it's going to be tough. We got another Will Ferrell movie here with the other guys. Not going to pull that one out. That's maybe one of his best, actually. One of the funniest, certainly. Will Ferrell movies. Absolutely hilarious, as always. Then we have Rio, right here. A nice, fun, animated movie. The visuals look gorgeous in this film, but I haven't watched this in a long time. So I think the last time I watched it was when it actually came out when I was a kid. So really interesting movie. Glad to have it in the collection. Nothing special about it. I'd like to get when I start getting more of them, I'd like to have a separate section for all my animated movies, like my Pixar, my DreamWorks, and all those. But as you can see, I don't exactly have a ton of them. So, the Disney ones are expensive, so I'm not really focused on that right now because I don't watch animated movies that often. So, not really looking to spend $20 a piece on Pixar films, even though I think they're the best animated movies. Anyway, we have a classic here, The Sandlot. Really fun summer movie. I watch this every summer. I love baseball, and this just reminds me so much of being a kid. And we had, in the neighborhood I grew up in, there'd be about 15 of us, we'd all get together and play a game of baseball, and it was just some of the best times in my life. And I sucked at baseball, but it was still really fun to play, and still really fun to watch. I am a huge Cubs fan. I probably mentioned that before in my videos, but absolutely love baseball. It's my favorite sport to watch because of the environment. Baseball is just it's summer, you know. They just go together, and baseball's a grind. It can get kind of boring at times, I'll admit it, but it is there's just something about it that I have fallen in love with. So, really good movie, funny, you know, really fun movie. And then we have the two Ted movies. Again, the Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy made these movies. He also voices the teddy bear. I know people have mixed feelings about these movies. I love them. I think they're hilarious. I love everything Seth MacFarlane's ever touched, for the most part. Not the biggest fan of American Dad or The Cleveland Show, but they're still solid shows. But yeah, Family Guy's amazing. These movies are really good to me. I think they're funny. a pot-smoking, drunk teddy bear that comes to life. Like, that's just hilarious. And really fun movies. Ted 2 is not as good as the first, of course, but they're both really good movies. And they never really explained what happened to Mila Kunis in the second movie, I don't think, which is kind of unfortunate, because she was a major character in the first. But again, fun movies, glad to have them in the collection. And then to round out the comedy, we have another animated comedy. We have Zootopia, and this is a like a 3D cover, really cool. This is actually the only 3D Blu-ray I have in my collection, and I didn't even realize it was a 3D Blu-ray. I just bought it for the cool cover. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I don't have a 3D Blu-ray player or a 3D TV, so it's kind of useless for me to have the 3D. I just watch the Blu-ray or the DVD. But really fun Disney movie. This one actually has just an amazing message about, you know, racism and discrimination, and it's told kind of through the lens of these animals, and it really gives a really good social commentary. And this was released just last year when we had, you know, the rise of people like Donald Trump, who are just terrible, terrible people that come out of the woodworks, and just made you realize that racism is alive and well, unfortunately, in America. And I think if more people watch this movie, it would actually help our society, because it makes you realize how ridiculous it is. How ridiculous it is that one group of people, or in this case animals, are better than the other. It really, it's good. I really don't know what I'm saying here, but it's really, really good movie that I think everyone should watch. One of the best animated movies, in my opinion, ever. Then we have the only comedy special in my Blu-ray collection here, with Kevin Hart's Let Me Explain. I love comedy specials, but I just don't. They're oftentimes hard to find and expensive, so I don't have very many in my collection. Let's see if I can rest the camera there so it's not quite so shaky. Yeah, really funny. Kevin Hart's really funny. Not my favorite comic, as I've said before. I think George Carlin, Louis C.K., Jim Jeffries, those guys are my favorite comics. Jimmy Carr as well. But Kevin Hart's still kind of a... I kind of enjoy his comedy. He's definitely funny. So then we move on to my comic book collection, which is maybe the biggest compared to the comedy. I don't know, it's either comedy or comic book collection that's my biggest. But we start out with the first two Avengers movies. We have The Avengers, and then The Avengers Age of Ultron. Really good movies. The first Avengers is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. And the second one was pretty good. There were definitely some issues, but yeah. When they just decided to bring all of the really good superheroes together for one movie, that was just a brilliant idea, and really love these films, and the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe really is just amazing. So really love those. Then we have Batman: The Killing Joke, DC animated movie. I've not checked it out yet. I've had this for like 3 months, still haven't checked it out. I need to. But, I don't know, I've just been busy with other stuff. Then we have Captain America, The First Avenger, another Marvel film. Lots of Marvel films in my collection. I'll tell you what, since it's so tight, I think I'm going to leave this one out. So that way I have more room to get the Blu-rays out. Anyway, really fun movie. It's kind of fun because it's set in World War II. And I am a very big history buff, so I love that part of the movie, but it's also just a really good superhero film. And that kind of started, if I'm not mistaken, that's the one that kind of started the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was either that one or Iron Man. I can't remember which. But yeah. And then we have a DVD copy and then a Blu-ray copy of The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is perhaps my favorite movie of all time. I think it's a perfect film. I really don't see much wrong with it. Christian Bale is fantastic as Batman. He is the only true Batman in my eyes. And Heath Ledger's Joker is such an iconic performance, maybe the best performance of all time. Definitely as the Joker, the best performance as the Joker of all time. Absolutely love this movie so much. I've seen it a million times, and it is amazing every time. Absolutely love it. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. Although you'd have to be living under a rock to not know about this movie. So yeah, great film. Had to have it on Blu-ray as well. And we have Deadpool, which was one of the best movies a couple years ago, I believe. I think it was 2016 actually, so maybe last year. Really fun movie. It took the R-rated approach, which I think is always a great move for superhero films. But this one, not only for the violence, but for the comedy, which is what set this movie apart. Such a funny movie, like really funny. For a superhero film, you don't expect that, but this is hilarious. Definitely check this one out. Then we have Man of Steel, which is kind of a bit of a letdown here. Probably the best superhero, or Superman film in the past decade, but that's not saying much, because the Superman movies have been very big letdowns. This one's the least of the letdowns. It was good. Could have been better, but it was definitely good. This is a long movie, and it takes a long time to get going. It's kind of boring for a while, I'll be honest about that. Then we have the Spider-Man trilogy. This is the one with Tobey Maguire. This one was the one that came out like when I was young, like 12, 13. I think I've seen one or two of these films, but I've not seen all of them. I need to watch them. It's been in my collection for about a year, and I still haven't watched it all. So, need to get on that. These are the first two. I think are not bad. From what I hear, the third one I think is not so good. But again, I can't remember which one I've seen. So, definitely want to get back on those. And there's a new Spider-Man film coming out this year with a brand new guy playing Spider-Man, which I think is good because the Amazing Spider-Man movies were terrible. Then we have Suicide Squad, which is a movie that got a lot of hate, but I really liked it because of the performances. Jared Leto's Joker, I know, has been kind of controversial, but I think the scenes he was in were the best of the movie, so he did something right. Definitely nowhere near as good as Heath Ledger, but and then we have Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, which Margot Robbie, if you don't know, is one of my biggest crushes. She's gorgeous, and she's a great actress, and I loved seeing Harley Quinn up on the big screen. One of my favorite DC villains. And I loved those parts of the movie. There were a lot of flaws, don't get me wrong. The plot was terrible. I don't know what they were thinking when they wrote this movie. They really could have come up with something better, but the extended cut is definitely better than the theatrical version. You get more scenes with the Joker, which is always good. Yeah, I really don't know what they were thinking when they put together that theatrical cut. Okay, so real quick, let's do my X-Men collection. We have the X-Men 3-film collection here on DVD, which is the first 3 films. I've not seen any of these except Apocalypse and then Logan, of course. Just saw Logan in the theater a while back. But these are the first 3 X-Men films. Need to check those out soon. I also really need to check out the first 2 of the most recent films here, which we have First Class right here, and then we have hard to see, but we have Days of Future Past. Need to check out those 2 films. I watched Apocalypse in the theater, and I did like Apocalypse. It was kind of up and down, you know, but it was a decent movie. And then I saw Logan in the theater. And I know I said I was going to do the entire Blu-rays, but I am taking up way too much time, so I'm going to stop for today, and we will be back starting with sci-fi on the next part of this video. Sorry it's taken so long, but I guess I talked way too much. So, I've been known to do that before. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed this part, and then I'll be back with the next part, which will be part 2 of my Blu-rays, and probably starting in on DVDs. So, see you later. Thanks for watching.